Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing a comparison of the 4 biggest hardware wallets that I have personally used. A lot of people have asked me since all this Ledger Recover stuff has come out, what hardware wallet would I recommend for different use cases for different people. So what I've done is I've broken down why you would ever want a hardware wallet in the first place, and then I've selected these 4 different hardware wallets that are going to fit into each of these different categories, so that hopefully no matter what your use case is, if you're watching this video, you should be able to, at the end of this video, go down in the description and select the hardware wallet that is correct for you. So as you can probably see just looking at the screen right now, I've broken up the entire hardware wallet market into 4 segments. Along the x-axis, we have altcoins versus Bitcoin, and then along the y-axis, we have beginner versus pro. First, we're going to go ahead and put the Ledger suite of products up here in beginner for altcoins. Ledger software, Ledger Live, is the easiest to use on this list in my opinion, and so that makes it a perfect beginner-friendly wallet. And then as for the number of coins it supports, Ledger supports over 5,500 different cryptocurrencies within Ledger Live. So really, if you're wanting to hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and a bunch of other doggy doo-doo coins, you can hold all of those coins safely right there on your ledger. And as for the controversial service Ledger Recover, I think that we haven't totally seen what that offering is going to look like yet and what the open sourceness of the hardware is going to be at that point. I think ultimately that Ledger Recover service, bare minimum, is going to get more people into the hardware wallet space. And I think it could even compete with products that are already in the ecosystem like Casa and Unchained Capital that are helping more advanced users secure large amounts of funds with a collaborative custody solution. So next, for Bitcoin beginners, I'm going to be recommending that you go with the Trezor. Trezor is one of the least expensive hardware wallets on this list, so it's very accessible to a lot of people. And if you're just wanting to secure Bitcoin, Trezor does have a Bitcoin only firmware, so you don't even have to worry at the firmware level that you're being infected by, like, the firmware has to support Aave and the firmware has to support all of these crazy projects that are out there on Ethereum. On top of that, Trezor Suite is really easy to use for beginners. I don't find it personally as usable as something like Ledger Live, but Trezor Suite is very easy to understand compared to the last 2 hardware wallet user interfaces on this list. And obviously, if you know anything about the market, you're going to know that Cold Card is Bitcoin only, and so that obviously means that Keystone is going to be your pro altcoin wallet of choice, and that the Cold Card Mark IV is going to be your pro Bitcoin wallet of choice. The Cold Card Mark IV and Keystone's hardware wallet are both air-gapped devices, which is really good from a security perspective, but it's kind of hard to use them from just an everyday usability perspective. You don't get pre-bundled softwares like Ledger Live and Trezor Suite when you use these more advanced air-gappable hardware wallets. Instead, you have to link your hardware device, in the case of Keystone, maybe with something like MetaMask, and then with the Cold Card Mark IV, you'd be linking your wallet with something like Electrum or Sparrow or Blue Wallet. And not to say that that's a bad thing, it's just a user experience downgrade, in my opinion, for beginners versus the Trezor and the Ledger. I think if you're someone right now that has all of their coins on MetaMask or on Coinbase or on Binance and you're looking to get into self-custody, you should really start with a Ledger or Trezor, because they're going to let you understand exactly what a hardware wallet is and get you comfortable using them day to day. Whereas if you're already someone that's really comfortable with where they are, you were spooked by the Ledger news and you want something more secure, I wouldn't send you to a Trezor because they don't have secure elements. I would instead send you to either a Keystone or a Cold Card Mark IV, both of which have open verifiable firmware and open verifiable code. The Keystone obviously supporting more altcoin projects and integrating with stuff like MetaMask and other crazy DeFi protocols that I don't know too much about. And then obviously the Cold Card Mark IV being built from the ground up to be Bitcoin only and really being the best hardware device out there for Bitcoin only users. So next, let's go ahead and talk about the thing that everyone really cares about, which is how much do all of these devices cost and what are you getting for the upgrades to all of these devices. So you can see starting here on the far left with the Ledger, the entry-level device, the Ledger Nano S Plus, is going to cost you about $80. And for an upgrade of $70 more, so almost twice the price, you're getting a Ledger Nano X, and you're really only getting Bluetooth for that upgrade, which in my opinion is not really worth it. However, if you are an iPhone user and you want to use and sign transactions from your iPhone using your Ledger, you are going to need a Ledger Nano X, because the Ledger Nano S Plus is not supported for signing on iOS. And then finally, they have the Ledger Stacks, which is on pre-order right now for $280, and unless you're a person that makes YouTube videos and is going to try to like flex on people like me and get clout for buying these like crazy expensive stupid hardware wallets, then I don't think that you should buy this. If you are trying to show off a bunch of NFTs or something like that, or you just want like an aesthetic hardware wallet, then I think that that would be a reason to get a Ledger Stacks, but outside of that, I really wouldn't recommend it to most people. I did pre-order one and I will be reviewing it here on the channel, so if you are interested in seeing if my opinion changes once I get my hands on the device, definitely go down below and subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when that video does drop. Next, we have the Trezor Model 1 here. here, which is the lowest cost device on the list. And this is why I think it's the ultimate beginner device for Bitcoiners, because you can get that Bitcoin only firmware for the cheapest entry price of any of the hardware wallets on this list. I think the only reason that you would go for a Model T, which is one of the most expensive devices on this list at $220, would be for the CoinJoin implementation. The Trezor Model T has integrated with, I think, Wasabi Wallet to every time you receive a Bitcoin transaction, they will automatically CoinJoin all of your Bitcoin, which is kind of an interesting feature, but I've also heard some privacy concerns about the Wasabi Wallet implementation of CoinJoining and how they're like working with Chainalysis firms to basically like dox the people that they're CoinJoining or something like that. I don't have all the details. I'm not super into the privacy side of Bitcoin. If you were interested in learning more about privacy and learning more about CoinJoining, I can look into this and show you how it works on the Trezor Model T. But really, unless you were super interested in CoinJoining, I would really just go with the Trezor Model 1. The other update to the Trezor Model T is that it supports more tokens than the Trezor Model 1, but since you're a Bitcoiner and you're only interested in Bitcoin anyway, if you're buying this device, that shouldn't really matter to you. Especially when you could go for something like the Ledger Nano X for, $70 less, or even the Keystone Pro over here for $50 less, if you were interested in holding a bunch of altcoins. So next we'll go ahead and look at the Keystone. This is going to again be the Pro option for altcoin holders. We should just note that neither of the prices here for the Essentials device or the Pro device come included with an SD card, so you will have to buy an SD card on top of your purchase of both of these devices, which would probably bring the true cost for both of these to like $160 for the Essentials and something like $210 for the Pro. But if you already have an SD card that's compatible with either of these devices, then obviously you would just need the base price for the device. On top of that, the big reasons to get the Pro over the Essentials is that it has rechargeable batteries, so if that really matters to you, get the Pro version. It also has a fingerprint scanner, which in my opinion is kind of like bells and whistles-y. Like I don't need my hardware wallet to like necessarily have Face ID or anything like that. The build quality for these Keystone devices is really good. I've only used the Pro version of the device, and Keystone actually sent me this device for free as just like a review copy. So I don't know if I would shell out $170 for one of these. I would probably go with the Essentials version. I guess at the end of the day, it just matters how much you want that fingerprint scanner and those rechargeable batteries. Next, for Bitcoin Pro users, just go with the Cold Card Mark IV. And really the only decision that you have to make here is, do you want to go through all of the work to try to air gap your Cold Card Mark IV by getting stuff like a standalone battery and a power-only USB cable, and then the industrial grade SD cards that they're also selling on their website for about $40. So I think at $150, the Cold Card Mark IV is a great buy, and then if you want to air gap it for another $80 by getting those accessories like the battery and the SD card, then go right ahead. But in my opinion, it's not super necessary, especially when you can increase the security of this device by just including it in a multi-sig with other cold cards. So hopefully this video was helpful to all you guys out there that are trying to decide what hardware wallet to buy here in 2023. If you do have any questions, definitely leave them down below in the comments. I do still respond to all the comments. Check out the affiliate links in the description to purchase any of these products. I think the only one that I have a discount for is the Cold Card Mark IV. So if you guys are Bitcoin Pro users, you're ready to make the jump to the Cold Card Mark IV, and you're sussed out by all the garbage that's been going on with Ledger over these last few months, definitely check that out. And then if you want to see a full tutorial of how to set up a Cold Card Mark IV and some of the integrations that you can do with it, check out these videos that I'll leave on the screen right here. I love you all. See you next week.